Now really going to be the last presentation, but definitely not the least one. You realize the doors are open. There's a largest scenery behind here. It is a larger portion. This is also why the whole thing has to come at the end for logistic reasons. What we're introducing here is an organization and an application which has been shown many times, maybe the best subscribed local presenter here, which is Acellent Technologies. I think we're all aware with a smart layer and where you can all put the smart layer and what you can all generate through the smart layer and what you can all process through the smart layer. And this looks to be shown here. We see something which looks similar like a helicopter. Unfortunately, the lecture room is not as big, so we can deliver a helicopter here, but I think everything symbolically you can see here, including the rotor. I guess the rotor is not going to be monitored this time, but rather things on the fuselage, the tailbone, which is something quite popular to monitor. You may know that also. Other people doing that one, for example, with air-coupled ultrasound. Now, in this case, I think it's going to be with coupled ultrasound or coupled guided waves, whatever the approach is. And are we ready? Because I don't want to take too much of your time. Then there's the banquet and people still have to move. So are you?
All right.
Good. It looks like
should be up.
We're ready.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for your patience. We are Acellent Technologies here at SHM in Action 2017. Thank you all for coming. So we at Acellent Technologies have been developing a novel technique that combines passive impact detection with active damage quantification and 3D trajectory estimation to create a truly novel application system. So what we have here is a helicopter demo. It consists of 3 primary components. The first component is going to be the sensors installed on the tail boom. The second component is the passive system, which does passive impact detection. And then we have a damage quantification that uses an active ultrasonic scanning system. Okay. Now we can pair this with a ballistic object origin detection system to actually calculate the trajectory from the passive impact location and the origin of the ballistic object in 3 dimensions, okay? And then we pair that with an active scanning system that looks for damage, tells you the likelihood whether it's penetrated or not, okay? And also can allow you to, if you have an object pass through your structure, it can look for entrance and exit holes that will tell you a better estimation of your trajectory. All right, and so when you compare that with the ballistic origin detection system and the trajectory, you can have one additional feature, which is that you can actually predict the path of the object through your structure, and that can tell you if anything that was behind your structure is likely to have been impacted by the ballistic object. So we're going to show 3 novel things here. We're going to show you the combination of the passive impact, active damage quantification, and 3D trajectory estimation system. We're going to show you active damage detection and quantification to determine whether a penetration has occurred. And then with the trajectory mapping, you can see we'd be able to predict what was behind the object and if it was anything behind it was impacted. So we have here our helicopter demo setup. And this is rigged up to our system. So I'm just going to give it a moderate impact here.
Testing those systems and report that condition over and out. We got integrated station ID263, coordinates at 0.310.80.1. Condition on hold over and out. Requesting this one over and out.
Okay, so the system is running an active scan now. It's running through and it's trying to do ultrasonic waveform generation. Look for damage. So it's in the process of collecting data triggered by the impact, and then it's going to run that through environmental compensation and then provide an estimate of whether or not damage has occurred. Okay. The other piece that's gone on here is we've detected the impact, we've been able to localize the impact location, and then assuming a known shooter location provided by an external source, you can plot your trajectory, which we've been doing here.
And it was scanning over, sending out reports, and system is there.
Okay.
Our mission.
So we did a
Smart structures.
We did a very light impact there, and that was intentional. We were trying to get the no damage case. So you can see we can quickly respond and tell you what's going on in your structure. So now we're going to do a much harder impact.
Enemy shot fire. Enemy shot fire. Requesting those systems scan. Report that condition. Over and out. Helicopter to Acellent station at 8263. Coordinating heads 0.1, 0.3, 0.2. Condition on look over and out. Requesting active scan over and out.
So now the system's doing the active scan again. One other unique feature of this particular system is the fact that we've actually set this up in a replica of a helicopter hum style system, okay? So what we have here is actually the algorithms running on a separate system which is connected to the GUI via only an Ethernet connection. This is how you would actually implement this in a realistic scenario. You'd have an onboard processing center integrated with your hardware to do the algorithms, to do all the damage detection, all the passive impact detection, and then you'd toss it out to the ground source. So in just a second, we should get the damage result loaded here. You can see we have a quite large damage from the impact source, okay? So what we've just shown you is our ability to detect the impact. We've shown that we can detect damage and quantify it caused by the impact, and then furthermore, we can use that information and combine it with third-party sources to provide additional information on things like trajectory. So thank you very much for listening to my demo today, and I look forward to talking to you all later.